Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming to the National Voters Registration Day and Voters Workshop program here with Santa Clara County Library District. We're very fortunate to have Jackie Costanzo of the League of Women Voters of Southwest Santa Clara Valley join us. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Lisa. Hello, my name is Jackie Costanzo, and I am the Adult Voter Registration Chairwoman for the League of Women Voters of Southwest Santa Clara Valley, which covers Saratoga, Los Gatos, Montecito, and Campbell. The League of Women Voters is a diversified, nonpartisan political group of women and men influencing public policy through education and advocacy and encouraging informed and active participation in government. Today, I would like to offer some information about voting in Santa Clara County, as well as some ways for you to become an informed voter. First slide, please. Thank you. The website listed at the top here, www.sccvote.org, is a one-stop website for you registering to vote, checking your voting status, finding ballot drop-off locations, finding vote centers, and tracking your vote by mail ballot. So this website is a way for you to start by looking up your registration status. And I strongly recommend that everyone check their status. Just because there are times when registrars will purge their files for one reason or another. So look up your status. If you have moved, if you have changed your name, you must re-register to vote. The deadline for registering to vote is October 19th. However, you can go to the Registrar of Voters office and actually vote, register to vote and vote on election day. We will take a look now at the ways you can vote in Santa Clara County. You can vote by mail. It is free postage in Santa Clara County, and it must be postmarked by election day. However, the county will allow for ballots that get to them by November 20th. Because of the issues we've been having with the post office, they are allowing plenty of time. So they will accept them up to that day, but they still must be postmarked on or before election day. We also have vote centers. And the vote centers, there will be 33 of them. They are also listed on the sccvote.org website. You may go to any of the vote centers that are convenient or is convenient to you. They will be open from the 31st of October through Tuesday, election day, November 3rd. The hours, 9 to 5, except on election day, 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. Masks are required, and you will have a choice of voting by ballot or with the new voting machines. The vote centers are allowing people to also, if you decide you don't want to vote by mail, you can bring your mail ballot to the vote center, give it to them, and then they will give you a new ballot to use there. We also have drop boxes. There are 98 drop boxes located in Santa Clara County, including the Saratoga Library, and all the libraries, the city halls. I know West Valley College has one. Again, you can find all of the Dropbox locations at sccvote.org. You can also go to the Registrar of Voters office for early voting up to 29 days before Election Day, which I figure that would be October 5th, which I also think is the day that they're going to be mailing out our ballots. The address is on your screen, and you can go there 29 days. If you know you're going to be out of the area after that time, it'd be a great way to be able to vote. What can disqualify a voter? Oh, this is important, sorry. You can go to the sccvote.org and you can check your ballot to see if it's been counted yet. So it's always a good feeling to know that you've dropped off your ballot at a drop box and then you look and see that they've already counted it. So that's something else you can do to track your ballot. What can disqualify? Oh, did we skip what can disqualify? Yeah, I guess it wasn't on there, but I wanted to spend a minute talking about what might disqualify your ballot from being counted. The biggest, most obvious one is if you forget to sign it. But also if there are too many extra marks on it or tears, that can also disqualify your ballot. This is another reason for tracking your ballot to make sure. And if you think that they've had time to get your ballot, which is usually within a couple of days of dropping it off, and they say they don't have it, then I would give them a call and see if they can look into why your ballot may not have been counted. The other thing that happens sometimes is your signature evolves over the years and it must match their original signature. So keep that in mind. Some people might like to work at one of the vote centers, and as a matter of fact, they are really looking for voters to come and work at the centers now, especially interested in bilingual people to work at the vote centers. These are paid positions, and the training is also paid. I believe they're going to be starting the training in mid to late September. And there are even jobs available for high school students. So again, sccvote.org is the place to get information if you or someone you know would like to work at a vote center. Now, an important thing is resources for you to become an informed voter. One of them is this website. It is votersedge.org. You go there, you type in your address, and your own ballot will come up. I was looking around on that website this morning, and it's really interesting because if you click on candidates running, it will give you the information on them. It will tell you who supports them, who is giving them money, what their 3 top priorities are. It's a very valuable website. You can also learn about measures that will be on your ballot and who's in favor and against those as well. So Voters Edge is an important place to become informed. That's one of them. The next thing that I would like to share with you is how the League of Women Voters can help you to become an informed voter. The League of Women Voters of Southwest Santa Clara County, or Santa Clara Valley, is hosting virtual candidate forums for all of the city council and school board races in the Los Gatos, Saratoga, Montecito, and Campbell area. Those are listed on their website. This is the address, and you can register for those webinars, and you can also ask one question while you're registering. The other thing that the League of Women Voters is offering are what they call pros and cons forums, and those are where they will go over the 12 ballot initiatives that we will be looking to vote on this year. And there are also some measures. There's 3 county measures and 3 local measures that will also be on the ballot this time. So if you would like to register for the pros and cons, someone will tell you that what are the things in favor of and the things against each issue. And the League of Women Voters actually will support or not support certain ones if they have studied and have they've taken a position on the issue. So it's very important to be an informed voter, and these are some real easy ways where you can become informed and not even leave the comfort of your home. I believe that concludes my presentation, and I'd be happy to take any questions you might have.
So this is the League of Women Voters website for Southwest Santa Clara Valley. And if you just scroll down, you'll see all the online candidate forums, forms for pros and cons of what's on the ballot. So there's a lot of useful information and a lot of webinars to sign up for.
And actually, the first one, I believe, is going to be Monday night, and that's the lowest one here. And it is for Senate District 15, where Ann Ravel is running against Dave Cortese. So that Zoom webinar candidate forum will be Monday night from 7 to 8. All of these will be listed on the League's website. The recordings will be listed there after the forum has happened. So if you can't watch it live, you could go back and click on it on our website.
Okay, great. So with that, if there are any questions, please feel free to enter them in the chat box. There is a question from Amy who wants to know about disqualifications. She's asking if one accidentally marks two candidates in one race, would that just invalidate the vote for that race, or would it invalidate the entire ballot?
That is an excellent question that I would not feel comfortable answering. I think if you went to the sccvote.org, that you could ask that question at the registrar's voter. My gut level feeling is that it would only disqualify for that one particular race, not for the entire ballot. But it would be good to ask them. I know if you've made a mistake and you want a new ballot, you can call them and they will tell you how to go about something like that if you've done something wrong on your ballot. So I would say going to their website, or their phone number was also listed on there. That might be the way to go.
Is it possible to get a ballot even if you've gotten a mail-in ballot and you made a mistake on it, and you could go the day, election day, to a polling place? Or
actually, you could go to a vote center with your ballot, and if you want to vote in person instead of by mail, everybody's going to get a mail-in ballot this time. Everybody. But let's say you choose to vote in person. You take that ballot with you, you turn it in at the vote center, and then you can vote there. So that would be the way I'd solve that problem. Probably if I made a mistake on the ballot, I'd take it. I have to surrender it anyway before I can go in and vote. So that would probably be a way to solve that problem.
Okay, thank you. And is the county in need of workers right now?
Definitely. Mm-hmm. Because they're starting the training mid to late September for the vote centers. So they definitely are looking for people. And it's a paid position.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, then Gary asks, does everyone get a ballot, registered or not?
No, you will only receive a ballot in the mail if you are a registered voter, which is why I suggest you register now, and then or check your registration status now. If you're not sure, did I remember to register when I moved? Just go to that sccvote.org and you can check your status right there.
Yeah, I've heard anecdotally from some people that they checked their status and they discovered they were not registered.
Exactly. So that's why I encourage everyone to check their status.
Okay, great. Let's see, any other questions? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and, there is one. How would you know if your signature was invalid?
So this is one of the reasons I suggest going in and tracking your ballot after you have turned it in, mailed it in, sent it in, or dropped it at a drop box. Because if you've done that and you wait a few days, because I'm assuming people are going to vote early to make sure that they're covered in all areas, then if your ballot hasn't been counted, then you call the county and the registrar of voters office and say, I turned in my ballot and I see it hasn't been counted. And they will be able to tell you what the situation is. I have heard that they also will try, if they find something wrong, let's say you forgot to sign it, or your signature isn't quite matching, that I don't know if they have the clientele or the people to do this work, but they would try to get a hold of you because they have on file your phone number and email and that sort of thing. So they would try to let you know. I can't guarantee that would happen. So again, be proactive.
Okay. And then there's another question. When does the ballot counting start?
Actually, they start counting those that are put in, that are mailed early and put in drop boxes. They start counting them right away, because I know last year, or in the primary, when I turned mine into a local drop box, then a couple days later I went in and checked it had been counted. So they're not going to release any results, but they will start counting because it saves them from doing it all on election day.
So you can actually track if your ballot has been received and counted?
Yes, they will tell you if your ballot's been counted. Mm-hmm.
But you have to go to the...
You have to go to the website. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's why that sccvote.org is kind of one-stop shopping.
How often do they collect ballots from those drop boxes that are like in front of the library?
At the beginning, because the drop boxes will be up soon. I mean, they'll be probably put up as soon as the ballots are sent out, and I think they're going to be sending them out early October. But toward the end, I know they come every day and empty them. So, and they're all in secured locations, even the ones that are outside. Is yours an outside one?
It is outside.
But I'm sure it's some sort of a locked.
It's chained and everything, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very secure way of doing it. So, and the one I use is inside of the Campbell City Hall. So, it's secure also.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll wait a couple more minutes for any last minute questions. Somebody asked, can you speak to campaigning restrictions within 100 feet of ballot drop boxes?
I'm not sure that I'm an authority on that, but I would think that they would not allow people to be, on government property, I don't think they would be allowed to be campaigning. That would be my guess. I know when the League of Women Voters holds candidate forums in person, the candidates that are there may not bring their materials into the venue. They can leave them out in the hallway on a table or something. But so I'm assuming that, because those are all at government offices, probably not.
Okay. All right. And as always, good to check the website that you referenced, stcvote.org.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, for all those kind of regulations.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that concludes the program. Thank you so much, Jackie. And thank you all for coming to this this presentation. I know many of you are very mindful of exercising your civic duty and your right to vote. So we really appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.